Well, we just watched episode 22 of Gotham Season 2, the season finale called Transference. So what do we learn? Well, we learned that Ed Nigma definitely has his next career set up as being the host of a quiz show. Riddle Me This. That's what it's going to be called. So stay tuned for that on Fox, Friday nights at 8. I don't know. What else did we learn? We also learned that Penguin is going to go into the interior decorating business, obviously, with Barbara. His staple is going to be a head on a stick. It's kind of hipstery, but it'll work. It's a fad. Don't worry about it. Speaking of Barbara, poor girl, we learned that it'll take someone actually liking her to realize that Jim Gordon isn't Jim Gordon. Oh, this guy likes me? Something ain't right here. Something smells fishy, and it's not Fish Mooney. This guy's got clay for a face. I don't know. Congratulations to our winner of the Harvey Bullock pop figure. We're not going to blast your name all over YouTube here, but we will DM you on Twitter or we'll message your channel there on YouTube. For now, I'm going to say that my guests for tonight from the Dead Edition are David Cottingham and Russell Johnson. I am Chad Perkins, and this is the series finale of After Gotham. Cheers! Hey.
Are we rolling?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. We are rolling, Russell. Welcome to After Gotham, the show that films sometime after Gotham airs on Fox. I am your host, Chad Perkins. Please help me in welcoming to the red couch of escaped mental patients from Dead Edition. He is David Cottingham. He is Russell Johnson. Welcome, guys.
Wrong show.
Oh, so shit.
Yeah, right. Season finale here. Season finale of
What are we drinking this evening, Chad?
This evening we are drinking some Henry McKenna 10-year, which is a single barrel made by Heaven Hill Distilleries here in good old Kentucky. So
Where 91% of all bourbon is made.
used to be 95.
No,
All these other jerks.
It's lowered to 91,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Places are popping up outside of Kentucky all the time.
but it's not bourbon, right?
No, it's bourbon. As long as it's made in the state, as long as it's made in the United States,
Oh, okay.
it is bourbon.
Okay,
It can't be called Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, obviously.
correct.
Unless it's from Kentucky and aged for 2 years. Is this the bourbon show? I don't know what's going on.
just have a little banter.
Yeah.
All right.
The season finale, episode 22. Initial reactions. Dave Cottingham.
It was good. It wasn't great. I think it played out the way that we have been talking over the past few weeks with Indian Hill going down and Hugo, having to move or even close up shop. And, we mentioned last week, though, I was a little surprised about the way the court was introduced, which that's kind of that. And one other thing I think we'll mention later is the only things that really hooked me for next season, because I'm not really excited about Fish being back on the show, and I'm not really excited about the monsters that got let out. I know they focused on one in particular, the bald guy, right?
Yeah, I heard he had some dialogue that was cut out, and it sounded kind of like this, which is also kind of like
talking the truth.
No.
Yeah. So because the other ones I'm not really. I don't know if you noticed whoever they were really just. I mean, Killer Croc. I think obviously they keep teasing him a little bit, but no, I'm not. And Penguin, fainting. I don't know. It's just. There was a couple things that, and I'm sure we'll talk about that, hooked me, but overall it was an okay episode.
Russell.
Yeah, I thought it was an okay episode. For a season finale, it was kind of underwhelming, I thought. I agree. There was just a lot of stuff in there. It was hard to, I didn't like the whole Clayface thing. I thought that was used way too long and really kind of poorly. It's kind of like, okay, just figure it out already. Move on. Yeah. This is just dumb.
As soon as he came in,
yeah,
he'd be like, what the?
It's all clear, guys. Yeah. Strange is clean. Yeah, right. This whole time he's been saying that. No one's like, okay, well, if you say so, too.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well, you're not technically on the force anymore, but if you say so.
Yeah.
Boss.
And then the breakout, and the whole cliche bomb countdown, I was kind of like, God, really? Are we? I don't know. It was a little underwhelming. I mean, I think I agree with Dave. The things that hooked me for next season is the court and we'll talk about it later, I guess, the final shot, that really intrigued me because, and Dave probably agree with this, it all kind of stems from the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo run on Batman in the comics, and the very first graphic novel is about all that, the whole, or first two really, about the Court of Owls and stuff like that, and kind of the mystery behind all that. So that was a cool setup. Glad to see they're moving to a new direction that hasn't been really explored in TV or movies. This is kind of a new thing. So, yeah, it was okay. It was good.
I had to agree with you guys. I thought it was okay. I was expecting a little bit more, especially for a season named Rise of the Villains and then Wrath of the Villains. I thought there would have been this big melee of all the villains we'd seen so far, and really we only got Mr. Freeze and Firefly. They're kind of fighting each other, and we did have some fish, but but no, yeah, it's agree. It was a little lackluster for a season finale, I thought. But I'd also just like to say thanks for dressing up, guys, for the season finale. It's
Hey, we're in the middle of moving right now.
I was sweating all day. This is the best I could muster.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
Bottoms up.
Chad's wardrobe is provided by. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Let's talk about the most exciting part of the episodes, or parts of the episodes. Let's go ahead and talk about that long-haired hippie who looks like David. Who was David?
I was just thinking, we really did dress up a lot last season, didn't we?
We did. I had a bow tie last.
You did.
I thought, bow ties are a little out.
Why didn't you remind me? Okay. Anyway.
I was leaving today. I said, should I bring it? I don't know what to bring today.
Yeah.
I knew I'd be sweating all day, so I was like, yeah.
So the Bruce at the end, or the David character at the end.
Well, the Bruce character, played by David.
We can,
yes.
I'm sure Russell will elaborate, but I mean, the first idea that popped in my head is Thomas Wayne Jr., which I don't know if you know that storyline.
I believe he was the first Talon, David.
Very good, Chad. Not the first Talon.
Technically not the first Talon.
Not the first Talon.
But he is the first real modern day, because there's only generally one Talon that fights. He was the current Talon for the Court of Owls in the New 52, and kind of the main
and
villain.
the one that went after Batman during the Night of the Owls.
Yes.
When all of them went out against the whole Bat family. Thomas Wayne Jr. was the one that fought.
He's like the head Talon. But Talons have been around. Talons are basically immortal when they're trained. So to see how this all plays out, because I told you earlier in the comic book, he only encounters Thomas Wayne Jr. when he's much older. Yeah. Like, he's shocked by this. He's shocked by the Court of Owls, because he's never known that there's a hidden organization running all of Gotham. That was kind of the twist in the comic book. So for him to know it, like there's a secret organization running Gotham and not know who it is
and running Wayne
at this age, and running Wayne Enterprises, it's kind of like...
Well, two different things, two different properties. But
it is, but it won't be a
Did
shot.
you say the Talons are immortal?
Yes.
So that might tie into this whole project that Strange was doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what controls, in the comic books anyway, the only thing that can control or stop a Talon is to freeze them, basically, put them in very cold temperatures, and they'll freeze and go into stasis, basically.
Do you have to say chill out
No,
first?
you don't.
You don't?
Don't say that.
Is it
No.
is it
I'll
recommended?
put you in the cooler.
Yeah.
You don't have to say that. You just have to get them in.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
So that's how they do that. So they are immortal, and it was a big plot line in the New 52. So interesting to see how that works out.
So
we can only assume that that's who that is. I mean, I think Dave and I both agree that's Thomas Wayne Jr., because he's kind of an unconfirmed brother to Bruce.
But he looks like a clone to me.
Yeah, well, I think it could possibly be a twin. They could change it to where they were twins, and Thomas got kind of thrown to the side or something, maybe.
He was the evil twin?
Maybe the evil twin,
He'll soon grow a goatee?
Because they do look, they do look the same age, they look like the same person, so I just assume that maybe he's a twin. I don't think he's a clone. I think he's a twin, and just somehow Thomas maybe didn't know about him, and then they took him for experimenting. I don't know. You know, that's kind of what I'm thinking that happened. That they didn't know they had twins, maybe, and they took one of the, you know, the court, or Hugo took one of them and you know, I don't know. That's,
So
we all know the history of like Bruce's birth.
right.
You know, I mean,
Well, when a man and a woman love each other very much, there's a special type of hug.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you after, off air. But do you think that Theo Gallivan didn't know about this because the whole son of Gotham must die? Hey, here's one that's locked up already. Let's just go kill that one.
That's a good point.
I don't think anybody knew. Anybody knows. Maybe Hugo. Maybe
Well, I think
the court.
obviously Hugo knew.
Yeah. So I mean, it's if it is a clone, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's possible it's a clone, but for some reason, I'm thinking, you know, like in the book, Thomas Wayne Jr. is actually the son, the little brother, the son, or was he older? He might have been older.
I think they were pretty close to the
Pretty
same
close to
age
the
in
same
the
For some
book.
reason, I think he might have been a little older. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a clone.
So there was a scientist, and he was making a clone, and when it comes out of the clone generator, of course, it's naked, right? And it hadn't walked before, so it's stumbling around, and it fell out the window. What did the clone get arrested for? An obscene clone fall.
Wow.
What?
So I've been waiting all season to use that joke. and-
Nice.
Not really.
Nice.
Not really. No, not really.
Did this come to you, or
Wow.
Yeah, well, I pulled that out of third grade. Yeah,
Okay.
that's really channeling that third grade recess. What do you guys think of the bourbon?
Thanks for watching.
I like it.
What do you think of the bourbon?
It's very
good.
nice.
Yeah, that's very good.
nice. Very smooth.
Recommend it.
Yeah.
Well, what about the whole fish coming back? She now has a superpower, and apparently it leaves you very thirsty after you've been manipulated.
Right.
Because Miss Peabody woke up, and unless they were just really using that as a script device to get them to pour water on the bomb, but she was like, water. Is that because of the fish DNA? What do we think of the whole fish thing? Well, we already know what you.
She died in
think,
the water.
Yeah, she did die in water.
I don't know. Her powers seem very. I don't really know what to make of them, because it seems like she has to keep she kept touching Miss Peabody, grabbing her hand every time she said something,
Touching her
then touching her
face.
face, and then all of a sudden she could control them without touching them. It wasn't like she was holding her hand the whole time, and she was saying, "Go get," Strange and all
That's
this
right.
stuff. So I don't. And what is it? Where it's just a very odd power. And when she touches Penguin on the face, and he just
Nothing.
yeah,
She
nothing.
could have said, "Hey, shove your umbrella down your throat."
Exactly,
Yeah.
but she didn't. So it's kind of like, I don't know. And not that I liked Fish early on, but it just seems, I don't know. It seems really forced, and I don't know where they're going to place her in this whole mix, other than she's now the queen again of crime in Gotham.
You think so?
I mean, Butch even ran away.
Yeah, yeah.
With his
Yeah, he could have like just unloaded on her.
yeah. But I mean, it just seems, I don't know. I don't know where it's going.
I kind of lost interest in the Fish character, honestly, when she went to Dollmaker.
Yes, agreed.
You know, I liked her, like you said, in the beginning when she was kind of running things and kind of what motivated Penguin to kind of go on his own. And
She was under Falcone, but she was plotting the
Yes.
takeover.
Yeah, that was a good
I
storyline.
like that stuff. I liked her, and I felt like she wasn't trying in interacting a lot. You know, I mean, I don't feel like
She forgot.
yeah.
She forgot how to do it, and now she's got.
But I
I've
keep,
been watching this Legends of Tomorrow show, and
I keep
really,
thinking of that.
I really think that one guy who plays Captain Cold is a really good actor.
Yeah, so I keep thinking of that. I keep thinking of her
Yeah.
trying like he does. Yeah, it doesn't work. It didn't work for me this second half. Of the
Yeah,
season.
it was really weird how it ended. She's going to crash a bus, and she can just walk away from it. You know, I mean, she hit that car pretty hard.
And the riddle with bullets.
Yeah.
Not one hit her, but
Or all the freaks.
or
Anybody.
anybody in the bus.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems
I also think they're misusing Butch now. He seems to only come on when he has to blow up something or use a Gatling gun.
yeah.
It's like,
Got quite the armory going on.
yeah, just a couple episodes ago, he bazookas Galavan,
Right.
and now he's Gatling gun the bus. And I like Butch a lot. I want to see better use of Butch.
Yes, I agree.
Better use of Butch. Well, what about Gordon? It's his show, after all. He's going down south.
Somewhere down south.
Party down south.
Yeah.
It's like, hello, information. I need directions to down south.
Where's he going?
Drive
Exactly.
south, sir.
Sounds pretty big.
It is pretty big. So he has decided, and I think rightfully so, to go find Lee because, hello, it's Lee. She's smoking hot.
Smoking hot.
And I think really she's got a kid. I still think,
I'm kind of with you on that.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because it was just so haphazardly said by Bullock, oh, she lost the kid. I just think that's
Yeah.
sloppy. I don't know. So I think they're holding that for a twist in the third season. I don't know. But what do we think of? It was kind of an interesting scene where Strange put the truth serum. What did he call it? Honesty serum. I don't know. Is that trademarked? Truth serum? And you had to say honesty
I know,
serum.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
But he injected him with the honesty serum and is asking him these questions. What do you think about that scene and all that?
I thought it was okay. I didn't.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I felt like the early part of it was like, oh, I feel vulnerable and guilty and scared, and it's like, okay, get the real Gordon. I get that, but just to go through all those questions to get to. So, do you know who the Cornells are? That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
Who
runs?
It seemed like it was a long way to get to that one question he needed answered. They don't know anything. Okay, let's kill him. I understood why they did it. I thought it was okay, but I think Ben McKenzie he had to work pretty hard in this episode. He had to act like Clayface, weird guy. He had to be himself as Jim, then he had to be the vulnerable under the true serum guy. And it's like
Honesty serum.
Honestly, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
So again, I thought that was. I think some of these scenes, again, like the Clayface scene, dragging it out through several different segments, it seemed unnecessary. The true serum thing seemed a little unnecessary. It just seemed like it was a long way to get to what he needed to answer, and you could have cut that short and got to more action, I think. It just kind of dragged for me a little bit, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really feel like I'm just hating on this episode at this point. Because you said before this, we're going to talk about the good things, and now we're going back to...
Well, what other good things? What else did you like about this episode?
Well, I liked. No, I liked the Gordon Hugo stuff. Look, B.D. Wong has been phenomenal as
Yes,
Hugo Strange.
and just while it's in my brain, I'll just say this real quick, and we'll get back to you, Dave. In that scene, the interrogation scene, B.D. Wong, I felt and I realized for the first time that his demeanor and his speech is comforting and reassuring, and
Yes.
it makes you want. Like, I could see myself like, okay, I'll tell you my deepest darkest
Sure.
secrets because you seem cool and I seem comfortable around
Absolutely.
you.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And hats off to B.D. Wong for playing Hugo Strange in such a way where, yes, it's just his tone and his delivery
Mhm.
was
Yeah,
so good.
he's
But-
been great.
Yeah, no,
Go
he's
on.
been really good. And I didn't really think about questioning whether or not it was a good casting or not. But as soon as he showed up and started speaking, I thought he nailed it. He's nailing the character really, really well. And I'm glad he didn't die.
Mhm.
I was surprised he didn't die.
I thought he
'cause
bit
that's
the
like,
bullet.
come on,
I did too.
man. How do you stand in the middle of that and actually come
I
out
have a-
unscathed? It looks
I
like
have a rationale for that.
Fire and ice cancel each other out.
that's possible.
That's the only thing I can think. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, he's dead. Then he came back, he's like,
He got hit with the exact right amount of fire and ice to come out unscathed.
yeah. So it's like perfect temperature. Is that
yeah.
right? It's
Ooh,
like,
this is nice. I'm
he's
just
like,
like,
this is
nap.
comfortable. I don't know.
He actually just took a nap. He was.
Yeah.
He's like,
He
oh,
did,
it's
he did.
so nice.
Yeah.
I could sleep in this weather.
No, I felt like that scene was really good, and I came out. I mean, obviously, I guess it's the serum that's making Gordon do what he's doing, because it's like when he walked out, it's like, how could he not be going to find that bus and help?
Right.
He's like, got things to do. I got important things to do. It's like, who's this guy that was like all about saving Gotham and all this stuff, and then the worst part of all these monsters are about to get unleashed. Fish is out there. But he's like, and he steals Bullock's car.
What a jerk!
You know, it's like,
It's my car, man.
It's my car.
so I'm assuming it's still the serum, the guilt serum. You know, it's like he feels guilty, so he's got to do this. But, I actually liked. I was hooked a little bit with the Riddler questioning,
Yeah,
you know, Fox, and
those were good scenes.
because when the gas started coming out, I'm like, what? Wait a minute.
How are they gonna get out of this one?
You know, I thought someone was gonna bust in.
Yeah,
and-
cute cat.
but
with the-
yeah, exactly.
Leaf blower.
I agree with that. I like.
So there's some good parts to it.
I like the
Sure.
Riddler's maniacal laugh and going,
Yeah.
just getting into it, not knowing who actually runs Wayne Enterprises. Like, whatever. You could be right. I don't know. I don't care. You're wrong. And so I thought that was pretty good to see him kind of.
I wish he would
Go
have
off
threw
the
in a
rails like
riddle
that.
though.
I thought that's where he was going too.
Yeah.
And I thought Bruce was gonna get him, and Lucius was gonna be like, Come on, Lucius, you're
The
smart.
board.
It would have been nice
The board
to see a
runs
riddle.
Board
away.
of directors, final answer. Can I use my lifeline? Yeah, no, that was really good.
I mean, it would have been perfect. to Riddle me this.
Riddle me this. Yeah, I really thought that they were gonna once the cat got out of the bag. Not to mix metaphors with Edward Nygma about him actually being evil. I thought that was going to be the sliding down of that character, and it wasn't going to be as fun as it was when we worked at the GCPD. But I have to admit, they've kept his character up and kept him important and relevant and in the episodes. Because I remember, asking ourselves, like, is he just going to be locked away and we're not
Right.
going to see him till the end of the season when they all inevitably escape or what have you? But
Did he? What happened? Did
he was
on
still in the cell.
The, he was still in the cell,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's still in captivity.
Okay.
But
And it's kind of good because Barbara actually had a purpose this episode.
she did.
She had a reason to be there because she was the only one that's going to figure out it wasn't Jim.
Yeah.
I knew as soon as she walked up, like, that's our only purpose for being in this episode. Is she will know it's not Jim by the way he's acting.
Well, poor girl.
So,
I mean,
but other than that, she's like, she's like, why is she now? She's the Penguins. How'd that happen?
it
They didn't really explain that.
It takes Jim actually liking her to be like, whoa, this isn't Jim.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
No way
I
he
was
could
like,
like
well, at least
me.
she was the one who's going to at least end this
Yeah.
facade. that's going
Charade.
on.
Exactly.
And his play face, which punched him in the face. That was kind of cool.
That was a cool scene.
That was a cool
I
shot.
thought that was done well.
I thought it was a good way to reveal it to everybody. Like, holy crap, his face is
Guy
all
has a
jacked
clay
up.
face.
Yeah, exactly. So.
We should call him Rubber Man. We'll think of a better name later. Yeah, so I guess not to crap on this episode, but I feel like it was so much a setup for season 3. Now there's all these monsters loose. There's the question of who is this Bruce lookalike.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? All this. It didn't tie anything up really.
No, it could have. You actually could replay that as the season premiere
Yes.
and get the same feeling.
You could,
I actually
yeah.
felt like it probably would have been better because
Yeah.
then you would have been like, God, I got to tune in next week for
Mhm.
what's going to happen to where all these people and Bruce Wayne, the lookalike and all that stuff. But yeah, I wish there was a little more suspense and hook and just something left unanswered. Because
Yeah.
to be honest, the only thing unanswered is who is this Bruce Wayne lookalike.
Right.
That's really the only thing.
My biggest fear
That's-
with the monsters being released is season 3. Does that set up for a kind of freak of the week? Monster of the
definitely
week
possible.
episode?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, oh, here's the new guy.
And we kinda
because there's
got
so many
that.
out there now that they can just go, oh, well, here's some new guy rampaging through the city, and we have
That's
to stop
definitely
him. It's
We
like
got that
I
in
don't
season
know.
1 a little bit.
Yeah,
Blue
I don't-
Man, and then
That's very true.
I just worry that they
Sure.
filler episodes, or we get a couple episodes where it's just, oh, some guys running loose, but it doesn't really tie into the main story other than little loose ends. So, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's
That-
going to
that's a
definitely
little
take
concern.
it's going to definitely take all season, if not more seasons, to figure out who the court is. I think.
Now they've never said it's the Court of Owls on the show, so for the non-comic book readers, this is a big question. Like, who is?
It is.
Yeah, who is this woman with the owl mask and this and that? So
guess it is kind of a big mystery.
And it's good because, yeah, like you said, the majority of the people don't know who it is or have heard about it, but maybe not read the whole story. And it is, I mean, it's new. The Cordial's only been around for 5 years now.
Yeah,
right?
it's
2011 they
Very
debuted.
good Batman story.
So, but it is phenomenal. I keep saying it. You go
Yes.
pick up the first issues of Batman and the New 52. It is Scott Snyder just nailed it,
Yeah.
introducing a whole new villain to the Batman universe that, like we said, has been pulling the strings behind Gotham for decades, centuries.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
like nobody knew that, and
nobody knows this.
so that was a
And-
good, that was a great storyline.
It was so awesome reading those books, and I hope it like Russ said, I hope it does it justice, because for him to find out this early, it's like, if he figures it out, and if the court gets dethroned during this,
Yeah.
it's like Batman doesn't ever get the fight. I don't know. So do the Talons ever happen? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yes. Predictions for season 3?
Monster of the Week episodes.
Okay.
I feel like they were hinting at Bane a lot. Like they kept showing a bald guy with a mask, so it's obviously Bane.
But what can Bane do without Batman?
Well, I mean, I think the whole Viper is going to factor in.
I hope so. That would be cool.
So I think he's going to get his hands on Venom somehow or something, and I could possibly see Bane being some kind of bigger character this season. 'Cause I just feel like that's the one guy they kept showing
Mhm.
that you knew who it was. Every Batman fan that kind of knew. The other ones, who knows who they were. Or whether
One
that
guy had like a
being-
mountain growing out of his head. I don't know
yeah.
what that was. It's like,
all I
One of them
thought of
looked
was
sort of short and squat, like the penguin.
kind of, yeah, a big fat penguin kind of guy. Yeah.
Batman Returns penguin.
The only the head thing, the only thing I thought of was Hector Hammond. That's the only thing I thought of, but I don't think that's Hector Hammond.
yeah, they probably they may have done some very obscure Batman villains. There have been some really weird.
Yes.
Like
Back in
what
the
was
day.
that, like Plaid Man or Rainbow Man or something like that?
ones. There's all kinds.
I was
of
hoping to see like Scarecrow.
Yes.
Something. I don't know. I wish they would have Croc. You saw Croc, and you saw Croc's obviously going to do something. I think Bane will come up, but then I do think, unfortunately, I think it's going to be a lot of Fish Mooney. I think
running things.
I
Yeah.
think
Well,
Fish,
were you surprised that we didn't see Jerome?
no.
We did hear like some crazy laughter when the door opened up and the homeless woman was like letting them out. Oh, you poor souls! You heard some cackling. Now, I don't know if that was Jerome or not, but they didn't show anybody that looked like him. But they did
No.
hear the laughing.
Or any Harley Quinn or anything like
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They can't have Harley Quinn.
that? Well, yeah.
See, to me, if Hugo Strange basically created all the villains, that fundamentally changes all their origin stories. Like they were all just experiments who came out weird, and I don't think that's. I mean, because
Well,
Penguin didn't.
Not always.
Penguin didn't.
Like,
but if we're talking about
Jerome.
Harley Quinn, Jerome,
He just brought him back.
Killer Croc, Bane. Because
Oh,
Bane's
yeah.
story, that's not Bane's story.
Yeah.
He wasn't created.
Right.
He was, he wasn't resurrected. I mean, he went through a whole thing to become Bane. So Azrael's the same way. He wasn't created. So like they're fundamentally changing their origin stories.
Yeah.
Which, as a comic book fan, I'm like, okay, well, we made all the villains in the lab. They're out there. It's like, that's a little cheap.
Yeah,
I think
I mean,
some have to come through.
A couple of the
different
main ones.
different memes.
Still, Penguin, Riddler.
Yes, and then those I like
Yeah,
because
maybe,
they had their,
maybe Ivy someday.
yeah,
If she ever grows up and
Catwoman. I like. I
gets
mean, I like.
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
They're coming to their own
yeah.
as far as like their stories evolving into something else.
Yeah.
So I like those a lot. I love Penguin's character. I love Riddler's, how he's evolved and becoming that guy. I think that's what it's all about for a lot of these characters, Bruce included, villains included. So to make the rest of them in the lab, it's kind of like.
Well, but also, with Riddler being at Arkham, we were kind of thinking, well, is Hugo going to further his craziness to make him really the Riddler? But I mean, hopefully not. I think Strange is out of Arkham for good now.
Mm-hmm.
So
To be honest, this really, and I guarantee you, watching next season will make it. This really makes me just want to have a Batman show.
I know you watched
not to talk about other shows.
We're gonna talk about other shows. So.
We're going to talk about other shows. You watch Daredevil, and you're like, that could be Batman, and that would be cool.
Yep.
Absolutely could.
Yep.
Absolutely, easily.
So, but there's a whole
On a
movie.
Netflix budget, you could have a kick-ass Batman show.
Yes.
10 episodes.
That's it.
That's all I need.
Yeah, the 13, I think they do
13.
13, don't they?
12 or 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
Either way, it's
I mean, maybe Gotham will end and that show on a different network will pick up. That would be awesome. We want that. We vote for that. So, yeah. Okay, well. That'll do it. We picked a winner for the Harvey Bullock there. Look on your DM on Twitter or your mail on YouTube, and we'll let you know who that is.
congrats.
Congrats. Cheers. I need
I'm
more
empty,
bourbon.
so-
Straight out of bourbon.
I'm a slow drinker.
And that'll about do it for this, the series finale of After Gotham. I would like to thank the people who have graced the red couch of different names throughout the seasons, which has mainly been David Cottingham and Russell Johnson. Corey, wherever you are, for starting this out, thank you. He's
Should I pour
fine.
out?
He's fine. Yeah, pouring out from one's homies. Seriously, guys, for all you who have tuned in regularly, we greatly appreciate it. The 21 Network, which this show is a home on, has many other things coming. So just keep tuned to that. Follow us on Twitter at 21 Network for all that 21 Network. He is David Cottingham. He is David Cottingham, that's true, but he's D Cottingham 21 on Twitter. He is Director 421 on Twitter. I am Chad Perkins 21 on Twitter. Follow It's Bourbon Night on Instagram and Twitter, just saying. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. And for one last time, you guys stay frosty.